What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at Microstrategy today. So we have our long-term trend line that we've been respecting. As we know, the gray trend line, the bottom of the channel looking very good. We've had 2 touches up here. We are anticipating a 3rd touch somewhere in this region. That's what we're anticipating, maybe sometime in July. We'll see, depending on global liquidity, if the move is over or if it continues up. There is a lag between it. We'll go over that in a little bit. But yeah, this is the area that we're looking at. We'll draw out exactly how we got those targets and everything, as we do have some new people on the channel. So we'll just run through all of that stuff. So we broke out of this downward sloping trend line. We are on the 4th week of an upward movement, and we had a similar move here, and it's starting to play out exactly like this previous week. So let's see if this week closes here at 403. If it closes at 403, then these first 4 candles will look identical to these 4 here. So we'll see how it plays out. We did speak about this zone being some kind of resistance, and it looks like that's exactly what's happening. As you can see, we pushed up earlier in the day. We made it up to like 403 and we got rejected, because we've been talking about this for easily like 2 weeks now at this point, maybe even longer. Yeah, maybe even 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We had this bearish pull for a Fibonacci retracement. So this is in the bearish direction. So when you pull and you pull back to the 50 and the 618, the golden retracement zone, this is a resistance level to continue price downward. So we've been speaking about that. We were saying that we need to get a close inside of it or above it, get a retest, and then move up higher. That would be the ideal scenario. We just made it up to this zone today, so I did expect some kind of rejection, whether it's the first or second day. Hopefully this is all the rejection we get, and then we can break through it. But we did anticipate that this would happen. Everybody kind of knew that this was coming up. So when you take a look here on Bitcoin, you can see when these lines crossed or touched, that's when you had your top in 2021. They just simply touched. And then the first time that we had this in 2017, it actually crossed. The red line actually made it across the green and then fell back down. But that touch was when the top was in. And then you can see this time it just tapped it and then fell down, but it didn't even cross this time. So now we're anticipating that this time it's going to get very close, but it probably will not touch the green line. So maybe there will be a tiny gap, but when it gets very close to touching, that will more than likely be our top for the cycle. And then we get our reset for the next 4 years to continue the Bitcoin cycles. I still think Bitcoin cycles are still going to be a thing. I know people are saying that cycles are over, but I usually just wait for the data to show me that. I'm not going to just go out on a limb and say that. I know some people like to do that, but I'm more of a show me kind of person. So once I see that actually happening, then I will actually believe it. Back to MicroStrategy on the SMAs, we're looking very good. We got our bounce off the 50. We're above the 20. This is going to be a quick run through because we've seen this multiple times. It's kind of the same concept. Red day here. Bollinger Bands are practically the same thing. When we take a look here at the RSI on the daily, we are looking very good. We're making our way up to the 70. That's going to be overbought territory. Hopefully it's an extended move like we've seen previously, something nice like that. Hopefully we can hold above the 70 for an extended period so we get a nice exaggerated blow off top and everybody can profit and make some good money. On the weekly RSI, we are making our way up to the 70. We're currently at 62.4, and we've been speaking about it where we've had 3 large moves, exaggerated moves. As you can see here, once we made an aggressive move into the 70s. So we have made it into the 70s prior, but this was off of a weak move here. It was aggressive all the way up here, then it died out, and then it was a weak move and you got a double top. So we need something aggressive into it, and then we can see a nice move like we've seen prior. And then maybe we get these these three candles with a blow off top like we've seen previously. We have it once here and we had it a second time here. So I kind of anticipate something similar. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but something of that nature once we have an aggressive move to the 70. On Bitcoin on a larger time frame, we do have this trend line here that was established from the 2021 double top connecting with the March 2024 high, and then we just got a strong bounce off of it and we're pushing up higher. And when you take a look at global liquidity, it's been running up for about 98 days and there's an 85-day lag roughly. Let's go to the daily so we get a better look here. An roughly 85-day lag from the start of this global liquidity move to the start of the Bitcoin move. And global liquidity has, if this is the peak, we don't know if this is a peak, it's been running for 98 days. And then if you do the same here, you take this out 98 days, it takes you to mid-July. 98 days. So perhaps if we follow this to the T, then we land somewhere in mid-July for this next local top. Doesn't have to be the top for the cycle, but for the local top, maybe that ends up being a move here on Microstrategy where we make it up here and then we repeat these same two moves that we've seen prior. And maybe this is just the third one where we run up, blow off top, trade sideways and down to about the 600 region or something like that, and we push up higher. So let's see what happens. And if that were to play out, it would kind of make sense when you take a look here at the Fibonacci. We made it to the 0.618, the golden zone, and we rallied up. Here, pull it all the way to the top into this leg here, and we made it just sub of the 618, and we're making our way up higher. So if this was the next leg up and we made it all the way to this region, let's say we make it to 1186 for example, and we pull back to the 618, that would take you right to 600, which would be the bottom of this channel, which would be a perfect lineup with the previous touches and bottom of the channel. And then maybe we rally from there for the final blow off top, final leg up. So that would be the right translated cycle. Right translated cycle would be something like we just spoke about. We get the blow off top, trade back to this part of the range, and then we get a final move up. And then that is the final move, late 2025. Left translated cycle is going to be something where it's more of an exaggerated move. Maybe we run all the way up to 1700, 2000, maybe 1500, and then that is the end of the move. That would happen if economic data comes out worse than expected. We fall into a recession sooner than expected or anticipated, and that would kind of throw a wrench in Bitcoin's plan of running up to mid 100s or 200K, wherever it's going to land this year. And tether dominance, this is what we're going to be keeping our eye on religiously. We're going to be watching this thing. If we do break this level here, if we break this 4.95, I could see us getting a nice little push down. And when we get a nice push down, Bitcoin will rally every single time. Every time you get a nice move downward, Bitcoin rallies up. So this most recent move that we saw from April 20th to April 25th was a red candle a large red candle on tether dominance. So I would anticipate a large move up if tether dominance continues to fall down. We definitely want to break this 495 level. So we lose this level of support, and it acts as a level of resistance and allows price to push down further. And when we get past the 476, I can see us making it all the way down to 461, which would be nice. But back to this, you can see, for anybody who didn't see it the last video, when you make it to this blue line, that's usually your top in Bitcoin. Every single time. I'm going to overlay Bitcoin again, actually. Every time you get the touch, you get your top. So keep that in mind. Add this to your chart so you know exactly where things could be going, so you can make your own informed decision off of your research and your planning. But that's what I'm seeing here. This makes a lot of sense. You slap on the pi cycle top, you're looking at this, you're looking at global liquidity, you're looking at overall price action, Fibonacci's, you're looking at all the tools that you can, look at what the Fed's doing. You compile all that data together to put a nice solid case behind where you think price is going or where you're going to top, and you can make a good, solid, educated guess. You don't have to be perfect. Let's say Bitcoin runs up to 200K, you sell at 160, 170, that's okay. Don't chase it. Be patient. Understand that whenever you sell, it's probably going to continue running up. You have to put that in your mind. When you go to sell something, it's going to continue running up. When you go to buy something, it's going to continue dropping. Hardly ever do you sell the exact dollar value of where it's going to stop. It's nearly impossible. So it does happen, but just keep that in mind whenever you're making these decisions. Microstrategy is going to be making a nice move upward. Hopefully it makes it to 4 digits. I want to see it at 1,000, 1,200. That'd be ideal. Especially if you have MSTX exposure, that's going to be a large move to the upside. You're talking MSTR runs up to $1,000. Conservative, that's a 330% gain. That's saying an exact double, but it's going to do more than just double. So 330 would put you at $166, but you're really gonna multiply by like 2.25 or by 2.5, maybe even 3. But I always like to use conservative numbers because I'd rather expect something less and then get more. If it makes it to 1,000, that's a 330% gain here on MSTX. But that's all for this video. Like and subscribe, share with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next one.